found one of the problems here. We are missing a bolt right there, as you can see, and was never put back on, so all that oil is just puking out of there, out of the oil pan gasket. Go ahead and order one of those. They're like $45 to $115 or something like that, depending on which kit you get. Get a blue one. I personally am going to try to get a black one because I don't think blue would match my engine. Plus my favorite color is red, so y'all take what you want. But I was looking at it and couldn't figure out, you know, what could be going on to having an oil leak on this head. And the head's fine. The head is in there. It's sealed. It's not leaking. Nothing. So my guess is that when this bracket broke, it started leaking, what is that, power steering fluid all down the block. And it just slowly, just upon mixing with the oil and everything else in this general, you know, cluster mess here. But I couldn't figure out what would make it run, you know, like that. This car is not turboed. It's an NA motor. And it has the positive crank ventilation, and it has all that good stuff with it, the CVCC or something like that, that Honda reburns fuel and gets better economy mileage, which basically just is a vacuum out of the crank to reburn. And that could have been, you know, something that would have caused it to lean out because the air fuel mixtures would have been different and the computer may not have been able to keep up or whatever, or something of that nature would have changed inside that fuel system. A faulty fuel injector, you know what I mean, whatever it could have been. So I started looking into it to figure out how I got oil all down that side. So here's my transmission, D6, all factory, except for the torsion mounts. I will be changing that mount out for a aftermarket mount, a new throwout bearing, a new starter, new seals, all that good stuff. And then we have my Z6 intake manifold here, throttle body, everything. So coming down here, look what I just noticed was ripped out. Yeah, the whole time. It's just been chilling out of its box. I'm gonna take you to this side of the motor so you guys can see. But it's supposed to be plugged in right here. You guys can see that. That's where it's supposed to be plugged in at. And it wasn't plugged in. So I thought it was a charcoal canister. And when I replaced it, it didn't fix it. And it was because that was out. So that would definitely cause it to run ill-efficiently, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and place my bet at, because it was still in time. It was still spinning until it wouldn't spin, which I'm pretty sure is a valve train issue on the top end. So I just need to redo the whole head, redo the block, and rebuild the whole thing. Alright guys, I just pulled that head off, broke all the bolts loose, pulled it out, and I'm going to take a look at these pistons. Well, number one currently has oil in it still, and a little bit of surface rust could be used for a hone and a deck for sure. Anyways, number two is up, and this is in top dead center. So we got the deep dish, the P28s, and they look to be in horrible shape. A lot of rust, a lot of things like that. Definitely need to get this block cleaned and get that taken care of. Get all these water jackets and oil passageways free of rust, because that's harmful to a motor for sure. But anyways, so basically here we have a short block, and it's what in the business we call a short block, because it's, you know, oil pan and engine block with crank and pistons, and basically that's about it. I can take off the oil pump, I can take off the tensioner, I can take off the pulleys, all the alternator brackets, the oil filter, the evap tank. I can still take a lot of it off of here, get it cleaned up better than this and honed out and stuff. But, so what concerned me after running this lean and it sitting for 5 years and not being driven and whatnot, so this happens. So you see all the carbon buildup on there? That's cylinder number 3, which due to the head having that leakage is not uncommon to see, you know, debris and that such to that amount. But the head was not leaking, so that means that whatever was going on was not in the head, it was in this. The only thing that I can think of is what you call blow-by, and that happens when you have loose pistons in the cylinder because your rings are bad. So if you look right here in this corner, when I press this piston, you can see, well, push the whole engine. You can see that it moves. And when it moves, this little bits of oil come poking out through those cracks. So, with that being movable, is not bueno. But it's not enough to do major damage to anything, honestly. This is very little movement, but that's what happens when your piston rings aren't clocked a certain way. What you want is you want one here, one here, one here, and one here, or one here, one here, one here, and one here. You know, either way, but that's just oil seeping up around the piston and rings, getting into the combustion chamber, and then igniting and going out the exhaust and leaking out the block, making it run hotter, all that good stuff. So, you know, I didn't want to, but it's time for a whole rebuild. From the ground up, we're starting all the way down from the bottom. Shit. If I had the money right now, I'd order everything. But I don't. So y'all just have to stay tuned, and I'll keep letting you guys know with these little video progresses how far we get it. Alright. That's going to be it for this. I appreciate you guys watching, commenting, subscribing, all that good jazz. Hope to see more of you.